Hey guys, what's up? 101 Pilot here, and today we are going to be looking at smooth terrain. So we're going to open up a base plate first of all, and once that loads, let's go to our terrain tools. Alright, so you'll see here we have a few tools. Well, we have actually quite a selection of tools. So the first one is generate. This will simply generate a chunk of terrain for you that includes different biomes that you can select from. So here we can have water, marsh, plains, hills, canyons, Arctic. So there's a whole range. You can set biome size, the generate map size, and if there are caves. So this is really useful if you just want to test something out and you just need some quick terrain to test whatever it is, like, I don't know, a vehicle, maybe see how well it works driving around. Could use this to create some simple terrain for it to drive around on, and just so you don't have to build it by hand, which might take a little while. Now, if you do want to build something by hand, we have these tools. Here is our add tool. So this simply lets us add terrain wherever we want. Let's scale this down. I'm just going to be building a simple piece of landscape here today, so I can show you all of these different tools. So I'm going to use this add tool to just create a base of some ground right here. Perfect. Alright. The subtract tool works in the same way. It allows us to just take off terrain. Didn't get that top part. We'll make the size a little bigger and it should work. There we go. Just lets us take off terrain like that. I'm going to use this. Now the add tool is really useful for creating bases, like the base of your work, but it's also useful for creating walls. I'm just going to create a wall like this. You can put these around your map to prevent players from escaping. I'm going to be using this one today as mountain, where I'm going to put a waterfall actually. Alright, we also have our paint tool here. Let me explain what this does. This is simply allows us to paint terrain where we want. So let's say I want a little bit of sand right here, or actually I would like to create a small path. So I'm just going to start painting right here. It just lets me paint over small, and lets me paint over terrain that I would like to change. The grow tool here lets me do what it says. It lets me grow terrain. So this can be used to smooth out some of the edges here so they're not so abrupt. I'm actually going to be using this. That way it doesn't look looks more natural than just having it stick straight up out of the ground. Now then, erode works the same way, and I would like to make this path look a little worn, so I'm actually not that much. So the strength here lets me determine how quickly it will erode through everything. So as you can see here, it's just slightly dipped into the ground, I guess you could say. So it looks a little more like a path that's been worn, that's been walked over quite a few times. And I'm also going to use this on a higher strength. I'm going to create a little pool here. So this is where my waterfall is going to fall into. Just need to make sure it's deep enough. There we go. So now we have our pond thingy. And I want to make this pond out of sand, let's say. So I can use my paint tool. I can go paint everywhere. And it will make sandy area. Now, here's a tip that I like to use. I want to blend this rock and this sand together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the strength of this all the way down, and I'm going to grow some rock here. And what it does is it doesn't completely grow rock. It kind of makes it all splotchy, which allows me to blend it together fairly easily. And I'd like to do this with my not with my sand. Let's try with, just kind of put it along the edge. There we go. That's already looking a lot better. Now the smooth terrain here, well, a smooth tool, let's say I would like to smooth this out. It simply tries to make it all flat. Now let's quickly add a large lump right here. And we're going to use this smooth tool to smooth it out. As you can see, it attempts to smooth out all of the terrain so that it's flatter. But one annoying thing that you may see is that it leaves these lines here. And so I have found a fix for that. If you take your grow tool and you set its strength all the way down and you select the material you're working with, it'll create a very thin layer over it that will smooth out all of those lumps so that you can't see them anymore. If you watch, they kind of just disappear and it smooths out again. Now, if that happens to be a little too big, you can also erode a little bit, and it'll work the same as growing. So it looks a little more natural here. Now, let's add some water. This is where add becomes useful. We're going to put the water down in the lowest portion, and we're simply going to fill this up. There we go. And we'll add, let's grow a little stream of water coming up. Actually, we're going to erode a little river right here where the waterfall is coming out of. We're going to add a little bit of water up here. And now let's make this waterfall quickly. I'm just going to use the grow tool, and I'm going to grow this water here down the side. So that it looks like it's flowing down into the little pool. There you go. Now the regions tool, this last one, this simply allows me to select an area of terrain like this, and now if I wanted to, I can move it, I can copy it, and I could copy and paste it. So if I created a specific piece of terrain that I needed somewhere else, I could easily move it if it wasn't in the right place, or I could make a copy of it to use somewhere else. But that's just basically all the tools for smooth terrain. I hope this helps you, and if you have any other questions, just leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you. Have a good day and enjoy building in Studio.